is Archana. I wear two hats. I look after the business for Southeast Asia countries for PERSOLKELly Consulting. And I also lead the learning academy for PERSOLKELly. So there are about 2,500 employees. I also take care of the learning and development initiative for those 2,500 employees of the group. So that's a little bit about myself. My topic for discussion today is, My topic for discussion today is how do we support our exiting employees? We spoke about talent development, but exiting employees who have worked with us, who have stayed with us for a very long period of time and have a storehouse of knowledge, should we also be taking care of them, having a strategy in place to ensure that when employees exit our system, they are our brand ambassadors. Most of the successful business houses today understand that talent is very important. And they have a very strategic view to ensuring the talent management. Why is talent management important today? Why are we talking so much about talent management? We had the previous speaker again mentioning about talent and how important the talent is. If we look at the world of business today, the world of business is changing very diagrammatically. If we look at a few years back, the changes were not as many as today. Today, new technology, every day there's an influx of new technology in the market, which is not only defining the way we work, but it's also defining the way the organizations are going to be structured in the future. As we speak today, there's a lot of curiosity and anxiety about AI. While we're still trying to figure out how AI is going to impact us all, impact our business, what kind of impact will it have on our employees, there's a lot of anxiety and excitement about it. While we understand that AI is going to improve and enhance productivity of our employees, but our employees are also worried about losing their job to AI. And 20% of our employees feel they don't have the skill sets that is needed for them to move safely into this new world of work. Today, we don't have that luxury. Today, we have to be prepared for the change on the go. So that's again another change that we see in the business world today. We have multiple generations working together. My previous speaker also spoke about how the expectation of different generations is very different, right? So while there's a challenge in managing these different generations, it is also an opportunity because each of these generations have a very different point of view on a particular problem and also how they solve a particular problem. So having this diverse demographic on one hand can be a huge advantage to companies. On the other hand, it can also bring a lot of conflicts to the workplace. So this is again a third challenge that our leaders or we in the organizations are dealing with. The fourth challenge for us is the changing customer expectation. I was reading an article and it says that the people in Indonesia are buying big time on online platforms, right? So that's a big shift for us. So today we have customers who are buying online. We have customers like me who still like to go to, probably a mall or a shop and pick up the stuff. And we have customers who are buying online and picking up in store. So what does it mean? It means that we need to have 3 different formats for even buying or selling. Customer expectation is changing. On my birthday, my banks were the first one to wish me, right? Even before my kids did. So I was laughing and telling my husband that at least one of my investment paid off. So that's the kind of expectation customer has from us, right? A very personalized experience. They want us to do more. They want us to make them feel important. They want us to make them feel special. So what does it mean for the organization? What does it mean for our talent? What does it mean for our leaders? It means that the old way of looking at leadership, the old way of looking at talent development has to be redefined, has to be relooked at. And are there any other better ways of looking at talent? Are there any other better ways of developing the talent? So that's my question to all of you, and that's something that I'm going to try to address in the next few slides. We hear a lot of conversation around agile organization. Now, what is an agile organization? An agile organization is perhaps an organization which is preparing the talent to safely navigate the changing world of work. An organization which is preparing to use technology to enhance productivity, to be competitive in the market, to stay ahead of the game. The organization which is building a culture which is innovative, a culture which can accept changes on the go and quickly align to any change that might be coming to us in the near future. And these are the three imperatives that organizations today are talking about. That how are they going to have their talent ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow? What kind of technology they need to adapt and adopt? And what is the kind of culture they need to have within the organization to be safely transitioning into the new world of work? Advantage that we have in APAC region, while I'm sure all of us are thinking what are the new ways of working and how do we reach there? I think the advantage that we have that any change that happens in the world first happens in the Western world. And we still have some time before the change hits the Asia Pacific countries. So this is the time for us to keep our eyes and ears open, to track what the changes in each of our business is happening globally so that we are better prepared for those changes in future. So those are some of the commonalities, but there is also a difference. And this difference, according to me, lies in the life cycle in which they are. If you look at baby boomer and Generation X, they're closer to retirement, right? They'll be retiring now or maybe in the next couple of years. If we look at millennials, probably they are at the middle management space or slightly in the leadership areas. Whereas Gen Z is continuing to, the percentage of Gen Z is going on increasing in the workplace, right? Millennials and Gen Z know they have a long career ahead of them. They also understand that career is going to be challenging. With the technology, the nature of job, how they work will change. And some of these jobs may be eliminated in the next maybe 10 years down the line. They may have to restart their career, right? And therefore, when we look at millennials and Gen Z, they want to stay with companies that are investing more in their development. We had a presentation from Astra. I think that point came out very strongly, that companies who are investing in people development will be able to retain employees for a longer period of time. If you pick up any journals, if you pick up the journal by LinkedIn, again, companies which are investing in people development are the companies which are able to retain employees for a longer period of time. So the challenges, or do we look at development, or do we look at all these generations together, or should there be some commonality and some differences when we plan the career for these different set of people? Cross-functional projects are an excellent way of getting the team to understand the functioning of other departments. My company sent me for a program, we call it as ALPS Diamond Program, which is for leaders. And I worked with different departments. I was working in a group which had people from PERM department, permanent recruitment department, staffing department, and so on and so forth. And the amount of learning I had from working on that project, I don't think I had that kind of that kind of knowledge by simply listening to talks. So we seriously need to think about how can we create these cross-functional projects where different departments comes together to work together. Maybe along with the normal working, having a project-based approach where teams get together, they work on a project, and once the project is finished, those teams get disintegrated. It may be possible for us to move full-fledged into agile team structure mode, or we may have to adopt it on a smaller scale, do a pilot, and see how it runs for us. A financial sector company that I worked with in the past, they had 80% of the HR doing the normal routine tasks. And 20% of the HR folks used to pick up the special projects, which were very important for the company. And this 20% kept rotating depending on the nature of project, the skill sets required to execute the project. So there are multiple ways that we can think about how we are going to bring these changes in our workplace, but a straight-jacketed way of thinking of talent will no longer work for us. So what happens is when we give our teams exposure to multiple directions, multiple departments, it also helps them understand and solve complex problems, right? Today, teams have to work in collaboration. No team can say they work in silo. If collaboration is the way forward for us, then we have to create these opportunities for our teams to be able to understand complex problems and develop skill sets to solve those problems as well. What is our recommendation? How do we see leadership development going forward, right? Our suggestion is that probably look at every role and see how these roles are going to evolve in near future. Maybe 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. And it's time for us to start building the skill sets that our people will need if they were to remain in the same role in future. Builds domain-specific skills, identify corollary skills, start developing your people on the corollary skills, send them for external training program, maybe have internal training programs to build their skills in allied domains. Maybe somebody working in Comp and Ben can look at data analysis regarding HR. They can also build skills for learning and development, so on and so forth. Each individual will need multiple skill sets to maneuver the world of tomorrow. Blended learning approach is an excellent way to develop or upskill and reskill people. Leaving it only to e-learning will not work. We have seen the adoption of e-learning is only about 10% in best of the organization. So having a blended approach where you have e-learning plus you have classroom sessions, maybe short duration sessions. We can't spare our employees for a longer period of time. Shorter duration sessions, but definitely a blended learning approach is the way forward for developing a talent. See, if we look at the generation today, right, they order their dress in the morning and in the evening it is delivered. They order the groceries and 2 hours it's delivered. We have Zepto which delivers grocery in 10 minutes. I don't know whether it's there in Indonesia or not. So the generation that is entering the workforce is looking at quick solutions, right? And as organizations, we will have to be able to give quick solutions to our customer, to our target audience as well. What it means for us that decision making can no longer rest with leaders. We have to empower people at the grassroots level. We have to empower our team leaders. We have to empower our middle management teams, along with empowering our leaders. So leadership development will no longer remain as development of leaders, but leadership development today is developing skill sets across the organization for anybody who's managing a team. Equipping them with the tools, the techniques, so that they are able to make decisions very quickly, right? And therefore, we feel that leadership development now has to be across the level and not limited to the leaders. If we have to retain talent, we have high potential, right? So retaining high potential is going to be a big challenge for us in this world of war for talent. So can we use assessments to understand who these high potentials are? Given our culture, Asian culture, we are not very good at giving negative feedback, right? So it becomes a challenge for us to actually understand who's a good performer and who's an average performer. I was meeting an HR in Indonesia yesterday, Jakarta yesterday, and this was again a challenge pointed out by her as well, right? Saying that, given the culture, the way we have been brought up, it's very difficult for us to give a negative feedback. And therefore you will find in performance appraisal, almost everybody is in a straight line with slight variation, maybe slight slope, right? Executive coaching, again, an excellent tool to develop your leaders. Why leaders? Because it's costly. That is why the word leaders. Again, helps you develop specific areas that your leaders are lacking behind in. It gives them the comfort that whatever they're sharing will not be discussed with anyone else. They will not be singled out. They're open, they're able to share their problems better when they are supported by executive coach. Cohort-based learning is a small group. It's like a group coaching method. So you have a group of set of people who need specific inputs. They all lack, say, in a planning and organizing kind of areas. So you can club them together, have a small group working together, being trained together. That's called as a cohort-based learning. If we look at the market, some of the skill sets that we find that companies are focusing on, managing people being one. What we also have to understand is that some of these competence or skills, as we call them, are changing because of the changes in the work environment, right? Because the old management development programs that we used to focus upon, delegation, art of offering feedback, etc., are also undergoing change, because now to manage or to maneuver the younger generation, which has very different expectation from the managers. Therefore, these programs need to change. We need to relook at the competence, at least the definition of these competencies, and then design programs around those competencies. So some of the programs, some of the skills that we find are being utilized, that companies are developing their people on, emotional intelligence being one, which gives you awareness that how are you as a leader, you understand yourself as a leader. You also understand the people that you work with. And there is a beautiful synergy. You are more understanding of your teams, you are able to help them, you are able to understand their insecurities, their anxieties, and therefore act as a better leader to them. Today, as managers, there are so many tasks that we have to manage, the administrative task. And those administrative tasks take 60% of our time. Tomorrow with AI, we will have more time to focus on tasks that are important, and probably AI will take on these mundane tasks or the admin tasks from our hand. But are we prepared for this transition? There's a report by Mercer where they said that the organization in Asia are still very anxious about technology and how the technology is going to change the workplace and the way we work. 86% of our leaders feel that their organizations are not fully ready to transition into the world of AI or adopt the new technology. While a lot of money is being spent in acquiring the technology, but adoption of technology is really a big challenge, right? Even ChatGPT, right, which is open, and when they did the survey, right, everybody is very excited about ChatGPT, but only about 16% use ChatGPT on a regular basis. I think with so much of talk about technology, also time for us to pause and understand that what is the problem that we are trying to solve with the technology, right? Because I think about 15 to 20% of HR budget today is utilized in procuring technology. And similarly, if you look at organization-wide, quite a lot of money is being spent in acquiring technology. But do we have a plan in place that, will this technology help improve productivity? Are we looking at enhancing stakeholder experience? What are we using the technology for? And what are the kind of results are we looking at from this technology? What kind of supports are we creating for our employees when they're going through this transition? Those are real questions for all of us. The third thing that companies are today focused upon is culture. And culture, from Asta also we heard, if the culture of the company that binds the employees together and helps them perform better and put their heart and soul into the organization, right? Our employees today are feeling overburdened, right? Are we ready for an organization which is agile? Do we have enough processes in place to ensure there is a smooth transition as we move into the world of tomorrow? Before I go on to the recommendation of PERSOLKELly Consulting, I just want to share a case study with you. We work with a pharma company. Now, this pharma company is a Fortune 500 company, right? And because of they went into consolidating different line of businesses together. They had a cancer division. They had a ready to deliver RTD medicine, that is over the counter, OTD medicine. And they integrated their pharma and cancer division together. So what that mean was a lot of roles become redundant. The second implementation for them was they also went the AI way. They integrated AI into some of their work streams, right? Now, this was a huge transition activity which was spread over 2 years. The only mandate to the leaders was to ensure that the critical talent remains with them during the transition. That was the only mandate, right? So what happened was, first the company identified the critical talent, and each critical talent was then mapped to a leader. It was a leader's responsibility to connect with them on a fortnightly basis, to understand the challenges they were facing during the transition. It was kind of rain check to understand emotionally what is going on with the critical talent. Are they feeling overwhelmed? Is there something the company can do? Do they need to bring in someone to manage their stress levels? And this activity, just like sales numbers, was discussed on a monthly basis. That what is the number of critical talent, how many critical talent we are sure will stay with us, and what are the chances of critical talent leaving the organization. They continued this activity rigorously for 2 years, and at the end of the activity, they were able to retain 95% of the critical talent. So the point out here is that whenever you go on a transformation journey, please be clear what is the end objective that you're trying to achieve. It could be as simple as 100% adoption of technology. It could be as simple as retention of critical talent. But whatever it is, before you embark on that journey, please ensure what is the end objective that you're looking at from this transformation activity. Still, there might be some people who need extra support. While a manager's job is to identify those people who may need extra support, the company has to provide resources to support them, either through EAP or through coaches, etc., during this transition. And periodically, take a stock of where we are on the transformation journey. Where we started off, maybe 3 months down the line, where we are. Have we been able to achieve the milestone that we set out to achieve? Or, do we need a course correction at this point in time? Sometimes, this is the age and day of productivity. All the CEOs now are talking about 2025 being the year of productivity. There's a lot of focus that every employee in the organization have to be productive, But still, there are going to be cases where we are not able to improve the productivity. And we have to take some tough decisions. If that is the case with you, please reach out to the right organization to help in this transition. At PERSOLKELLY Consulting, we work with companies, supporting them through transition, especially when there are mass layoffs or layoffs happening in any form or the other. There are a couple of programs that we have. Some of these are just orientation programs, while some of them are long duration programs. These programs help employees transition. They help them first evaluate what are they looking for in life. Some of them may want to retire, so we help them in leading a happy retired life. Some of them may want to have partial employment, and some of them may want to continue with their career journey. So we have these programs which help employees once the organization is not able to engage them effectively. That's all from my side, and thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being a part of PERSOLKELLY Consulting.
오늘 참석해 주셔서 너무 감사드리고요. 이렇게 한국 기업만을 위해서 저희가 세미나를 준비한 만큼 좀 이제 한국 주재원분들이나 이제 한국 인플루이 분들께서는 좀 좋은 의미 있는 시간 되셨으면 좋겠고요. 또 이렇게 저희가 한국 기업을 주목하고 있는 만큼 많은 관심과 앞으로 또 커넥션 있으면 좋겠습니다. Thank you for attending this seminar again. And then we are very focusing on the Korean companies doing business in Indonesia. So you know the pali word, right? So the Korea desk existence meaning and the reason because you guys, Korean companies working and employees and every expat working pali. So you can do inquiries and ask to meet us every time and any questions we are welcoming. Thank you for attending and then see you guys later. Okay, thank you. Terima kasih.
Tentu ini kegiatan yang bagus, baik untuk bernetworking sesama pengusaha atau sesama leader gitu ya di perusahaan, dan juga mereka mendapatkan sharing session dari senior. Kalau kita lihat tadi ada dari PERSOLKELLY dari India yang hadir secara langsung, ada yang dari Korea juga hadir secara langsung, dan juga direktur HR dari perusahaan, salah satu perusahaan terbesar di Indonesia, Astra Internasional, Pak Aloy Budi. Tentu ini pengalaman yang sangat berharga yang bisa di-share buat para peserta semua. Dan kedepannya, kalau saya dari Kadin, mendukung upaya networking ini tidak hanya perusahaan Korea, karena ini kan kebetulan yang timnya ini adalah DEX untuk Korea ya, tentu bisa perusahaan Jepang ataupun perusahaan lain, dan nanti bisa di-mix tuh dengan anggota-anggota Kadin maksudnya, yang isinya juga para pimpinan perusahaan, sehingga networkingnya makin luas lagi.